Okay, so I've made some decisions while we were away, because that's what I do. Part one. I mean, this is great and all, but like, this is riding far too high, and I had to work out how to deal with that. So that's literally what I spent 2 days doing. Because I mean, yeah, it works, but if you look from that direction, the nuke is riding way too high. And of course from on top it's too wide, because we've got to have the U-shaped bits coming up here that this will fit inside of, and it's just too big. So what I did was take some measurements, and the full width of this is going to reduce down to the size of that. And then after that, I've just got to get on with designing the top. But it riding too high, we're going to deal with that problem by, one, these are going to move up to the top of this rail here. That doesn't make much difference to us, but you know, it's something I've got to do. And I'm going to take the wheels off, so we're only got 15mm riding height instead of whatever the heck it is now, because I never really measured them. I took a wild shot at it and it didn't work. Yeah, that's 3cm full ride height. That's too much. So we're basically cutting in half by removing them. And it's okay doing this, because no one's ever going to see down there. I mean, I'd like to have little wheels down there because it looks cooler, but I mean, they were good, but not effective for what I wanted, so. I mean, ultimately, I'd like the top of it to be a little thinner as well, but I used what I used for strength reasons, and cutting back on that is not going to help anyone. Ow! Ah! Hello, I'm okay. My day was pretty much average. How are you doing? And realistically, those bits were only there so that I could do that in short. Okay, you need to go down a little bit further because you've got a huge amount extra on the back. Not that it matters, because we're going to have to cut all that off anyway. I mean, yes, it's still too big, but don't worry about that. We're good. We have plans. Also, because of the increase in height, we're also going to have to make other little modifications. So like that, I'm thinking. That's good. No, because it always ends up going that direction. Still too far back, but that's high enough. Is that going to be good enough? Where is it? Yep, that'll work. Okay, I will assume that that flash was just my imagination and carry on. Just like that. Now the problem is, because that needs to rest like this, I'm going to have to build this up in such a way that it allows that to slot in. So I think if I put it on the back like that, make more of a backstop than anything, and that can rest up like that. And we can get this on there like that kind of thing. Testing if things will work in principle. So much easier than you'd think. Well, so much harder than you would expect it to be. Okay, yeah, that looks like it'll work. Well, that is it's about 16 hours work for that, and I think I'm coming, or today will be 8 hours worked on this. So yeah, that's pretty much the quality I'm going for this at the end. It's just a bit unfair to put a finished prop on something you're making, you know, for comparison's sake. that on. Is that the correct place? Yep. Only getting one chance at it, so. I hope I get it right first time. That is close enough. That'll do. Also, do you know that one isn't going on this? That's the current state of the mini nuke that is going on this one. Just all this crap on the floor. They're almost the same design, so I'm just using it as an example because it's easier that way. Warm yet? Getting there. Yeah, I know. I'm being impatient. I usually am. So it goes on like that. Just hope it doesn't need to get any smaller than this, because that's going to start to be a problem soon. Just go like that. Slides in and fits, so that's good. Little launch carriage. Yes. Still sits a little higher than I'd like on the design, but it's closer. Let's have a look at some references, shall we? Okay, flip over. Okay, so the nuke is supposed to end about here on the bottle, which would put it back there at the full back position. Yeah, okay, my bottle's just too far back is the problem. I think it's fine. I mean, the amount of people who would know that there's a problem here is very small. But yeah, this bottle is supposed to be starting close, or ending up close to there, and it's supposed to be starting about there, and the nuke is supposed to be like back here. Which is quite annoying because I put a blocker in there yesterday or the other day to specifically stop them travelling back that far. Okay, so there, that looks okay. Yeah, okay, so that's alright. So put that there. Okay, so let's make this sharp angle here, because it's just a square, look a little bit more thematic, shall we? It's like a big sharp piece of metal, really doesn't fit the look or feel of the era. So let's instead make them curved so it looks a little bit more in place. No, because anything I put there will interfere with its operation, so I can't do that, no matter how good it looks. Okay, yeah, that's as far back as it needs to be, but it's still riding too high. I can't really do anything like that, though. Let's use this end, because this end is pretty much empty and I can draw around it. Okay, so basically I need to take a bit out of this area in both of them. Okay, so you vibrating. Had to track that down. The back is just a little bit too tall by here, so it's standing off the surface, and that is annoying. I got my fingers between that section on the back. Just pinched them. I'm just so glad nobody looks at these parts once they're stuck down, because this is going to look atrocious. See how bad that looks there, but nobody's ever going to see it. Okay, apart from the people I'm showing on stream, but you know. That bit out. really bad having to deal with problems after you've done them. 'Cause, like beforehand, this would have been easy because I'd have just swapped that out for 5mm. So that should be okay. So yeah, I made this, it's a piece of paper and it's an approximate size what the wings are going to be that I'm going to have to get up under. That's fine, just going to cut a bit off the edge here. Any little bit that I can lose will be advantageous. Unfortunately, so we've got that kind of thing, that comes up and just misses it, so we should be okay now. Hopefully. That on. The rest's there. We've got this coming through. It's most of the way up. I mean, it's not entirely, but so I'd say that's officially done. At least as far as basic shaping goes. Everything else past that is going to be a lot of work. But that's for future me to deal with. Now we have the side bits, I think I'm going to call them. These bits are, you know, the little wings that come up, or the curved bits that come up the side like that. So we're going to have them, which means I've got to have that back on to do the height. It's supposed to be about halfway up the nuke, so it's about 1.2 centimeters more on this side by the look of it. Please tell me I still have the paper down here, because I've been doing prototypes in other places. There should be files for that. Sorry. I would say nobody's good when they start out making stuff. I mean, I've been doing this now for 5 years at least. So it's, I think, 16 centimeters across. And just make it the length. Oh wow, okay, that is not good. I mean, considering I've never chucked this out, so considering that's the first prop I ever made. I mean, that is literally just 3 planks of wood glued together and painted a lot, but you would not be allowed in a convention with that thing. But I can assure you that one is terrible. But it's where I started. I keep it round because you've got to remember where you came from with these things. But you've just... It isn't tempted. I mean, I haven't set up the other camera properly, so I can't show you what's behind it. I mean, I'm being half-assed because I've got nothing to show, but okay, anything that I shouldn't have in shot now. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I specifically keep that. Wow, okay, you cannot see 90% of the raw wall. Yeah, that is way too low. I did not realise that camera was angled as badly as it is. Yeah, I've got 6 years worth of practice and experience stuck on the wall behind me. And of course from that angle you can obviously see that I'm like half in pyjamas, and yeah, gotta have some standards, right? That's about the right height. Yep. What is this supposed to look like from the top? There? That's quite a lot lower. I did not expect that to end up being what it is. Put about 13. Also, I'm taking so long about this bit because I only have enough materials to get it one shot. So what I'm having to do is be really careful working all this stuff out. so it's going to be about the point where that is the front. It's going to have to meet up at, so it's here. It's in line with that support. Ooh, I have a marking there for some reason I cannot remember. It's not good when you can't remember why you made a marking. It's between there and it starts back here. Actually, no, it starts like back here because it's in line just before that bolt, so it's about here-ish it starts. Which means there. No, I intend to glue the mini nuke on. I've had them fall off on the past and had to go running around the convention looking for them. Oh, they're exactly half. Yeah, I've lost mini nukes around conventions before and I don't want to have to go around running around and try to pick them up again. So what I'm going to do is just stick it sort of stick it on permanently. But this one's just going to be a display piece forever. Okay. So this one, it actually goes back here a little bit at the end, but we're not going to worry about that. I've got this bit up at the top, which is, so we've got like that. We've got a little bit that comes down at the front. That's the carriage underneath that I'm seeing, so like that. I'm going to have a bit on the bottom to make sure that it stays in the Fatman. It's going to be about that distance. Coming in like that. And we've got 3 little squares behind it, so it's okay. I have to actually make this. Like that. Okay, and they come up to about this level, I think. Now I've done this wrong because only 3 of these are full height, the other ones are half height. So these 2 on the end only come up to like here in height. And they come out like that, and we've got a little sticky outy bit here that I haven't done yet. Then of course you've got the weldy blocks around there like that. One up here. One up here. And one over here. None of this detailing is of any, none of those are of any use, but I'm annoyed at the fact that I left this little bit off the end. Okay, so that sort of heads down like this and then joins up there. To do this, but I have never actually tried it before, so this is going to be interesting. You know, I'm not liking these 90-degree edges though. And no, I'm not making it out of paper. I know that's sort of obvious, but you know, I sort of needed something to say, so. Go first. Thank you. I do not like those circle bits here. Okay, it's not so much don't like. I have concerns about getting it to work in the final thing, but we'll find out when we get there. Down. There you go. That's basically the shape of what the end should look like. Let's just bring up that. Yep, that looks about right. Maybe a little long, but I don't really care that much. So we put that on, put the carriage on. Put it on the correct direction. Put the wire on and that does look right, or about right for what it's supposed to look like. Which means that I can start the precarious thing of transferring it. And ultimately I don't want to use the long bits because that's where this starts going wrong and I use the only bits I can use. So. I have some other bits of waste that I can play with. We'll get yeah, sharpen the bits of wood. if we sort of go like that. This is Big Thick presentation card, by the way. Slip it through it. Got that, which you can't see any detail on because the camera can't pick it up. Oop, try to keep it in the right place. And just trace around the inside. We get the other side. I did want to do this using the flat side twice, but that's not happening, so I'm cutting these little triangles in just so I can get the knife in, or so I can get these scissors in later. I'm sort of hoping I could do it for the slices, because I'd forgotten how tough this stuff is. Whoops. Though I am specifically using it because it's tough. Because there is, basically foam doesn't have the strength to be like that thin and hold a shape. So what I have to do is make something that's solid, coat it in foam, then try to make it look like pressed metal or like a metal stamping. Now I have a plan for doing that. I don't know how well it'll work, I've never tried it before. But that's the thing about inventing techniques. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Fortunately, none of this absolute mess that is here now is going to be visible on the final thing if this works. If it doesn't work, it also won't be visible. Give you an idea of how bad that last one was with the scissors. I'm willingly going back with a knife. It's working much better. Perhaps I should put that back on. Always try to practice good knife safety. These things are very sharp and very dangerous. Okay, and we now have 2 of them. There are actually better ways of doing this, by the way. To do this and reshape it properly without doing tons of damage. You actually just wet it and it'll bend properly. Yeah. So you've got that, and you've got this back here, and it sits like that. I mean, it ends up about halfway up where you'd expect it to, and yeah, that's about right. The wetting method is effective, but takes like 20-30 hours to do. Yeah, it's all basically you've got to wet it and let it dry up over like the course of a week. Which is great when you're not doing a live show. So yeah, we end up that sort of thing going on. Now here comes the difficult bit. No, it's not you, it's not you. Where did I put that? You up somewhere safe, put you somewhere safe, because this is about to get messy. Okay, so if I start you off over here. Now I'm leaving a gap here so I can fold it over like that in the end, which will make it look like it's stamped metal, or at least worked metal. Forward so it's actually visible. this is the really thin stuff. It's kind of thicker than I'm used to, but that'll be okay. Keep the curved shape on it as well. Oh, that is pretty weak. I'm not happy with that, but we'll see. And a little bit under that one. And of course we've got to stick it again on the second one. And it's just continuing like this, basically. Fortunately, these are the easy ones. Unfortunately, I can't remember where my brush is for brushing the table. Oh, this one. I get less crap in my stuff this way. Let's go cut a little bit more precisely around the edges. It's about right. About right that direction and about right that direction. So I don't want to leave the inside being cardboard though, so the question is, yeah, I think that thickness there, I don't know if you can see it, but this thickness will be too much. For the thing as a whole. Well, it is what it is, isn't it? I can't really say no. So if I really would like to know why it's dropping out all the time. Go there, cut this here. If I'd marked it properly, it'd been better, but it's fine. And just these little two bits on the end. I think this is going to end up being a bit too thick for me, but so I've got that over there like this. I don't really like how thick it is, but let's end up being about 10 mil, something like that. $8 mil. Yeah, okay. I'll accept that. get this glue off my fingers. Got bits stuck there. The problem is I'd missed a perfectly good trick that I only just thought I could have done, which I can't do now. I'm going to make this bit the outside so when it folds over I've got that, but I didn't. There. Do a little cut down the centre. There's a little cutting mistake I just had to make up for there. And down from the top. So first off, do a little bit like that. A line here. It just means it all has a nice curve to it, stuff like that. It doesn't make much difference in the long run, but down like that. Honestly, I should be holding it into shape as well while I'm doing that. Just go around, cut off the excess. Basically, all I'm doing here is just covering up the fact that there's cardboard in the center. It's supposed to vaguely look like folded metal because it's just been punched out and twisted. So I made a complete pixie of that, as you'd imagine. And this is only one of two. But yeah, this kind of thing is why these things take so long, because this entire thing going down the front, down the length, is 4 pieces, not 2 as well. Get glue off my fingers again. To be fair, normal glue guns are very painful to do this with, and don't. This one, for some reason, does not get properly hot. It's the type of thing, you know it's a fault, but also it's a feature, so... Come on. Oops. Oh well. A little bit, keep it in shape. too much. That little hole at the back is too small for me to do anything about, so just fold that over. I know it's much thicker than it is on the actual one, because the actual one is like sheet steel and has strength while being really thick. You know, the advantages of being sheet steel. Yeah, that'll work. Why I didn't make it the outside. Just get rid of that whole bit, actually. And cut you back like this. It's ending up being really thick, but fold over, squeeze it down. Cut that bit off. A bit there like that. And a little fold over like that. And we're done with one side. Not perfect, but curved surfaces are the worst, by the way. fridge. Stick that on. And it ends up like that, which looks about right. I am surprised that worked as well as it did. Ooh. Where's the end of this one? Oops. Chuck all that out on the floor. Do you know, when I chuck stuff on the floor, I do, like, you know, salvage it. At some point, if there's anything I can reuse, I'll reuse it. Okay, there's one more of these to do. On the upside, at least it's the bit that's facing outwards that I'm going to have looking proper. Let's just turn the glue gun off. Well, part of it being broken is that it is properly broken. So it doesn't regulate its temperature very well. When it does that, it's no, you stay on the table. There it is. Yep, got it. Okay, and this time we have that to deal with, which is not that bad. And we're going to be using a lot of this, so. Squish some more on, squish some more on. It's got quite a nice curve to it. I'm just giving up on that last one. Yep, that'll work. Let's get back to it. leave that dry a little bit. Then get some cutters. Like that. Just roll that. Also, this rolling may seem pointless, but it'll help it keep the curved shape because this is just a plastic extrusion machine in the end of the day. That plastic will melt into the correct shape, or it'll solidify in the shape of the outside of this, which will help it keep its curved shape. So again, a nice hole in there. Squeeze and roll. Same again on the other side. And fold up, or pull over, fold up, like so. Like that. And the end one I'm just abandoning because it is too much work. must say, one side this looks amazing, the other side not so much. Perfect to end up. Ooh, it was about 7 mil. More here around the edges. That is sharp. Yeah, up to the table. Hold that shape. Okay, now for the nasty bit, which is actually connecting it. So we're going to need that in place. Okay, now this is going to have to be really careful not to stick anything that isn't supposed to be stuck. Work. Ultimately, it only needs to be there for like a few seconds, just make sure that it's all in the right place. I can go through filling gaps, stuff like that afterwards, because the carriage and the gun on the nuke itself so just let that dry. So that's in place, we pop that off, and slide you to the back, pop you up here. It's when you have to make things that precisely fit, that's where it all starts to go wrong. But it also means I've got to like sit here for a minute and do nothing. I mean, to be fair, it may need some reinforcement underneath that I haven't done yet. I gotta say, waiting is not the fun part. Okay, it's sort of gel-like consistency at the moment, which means we're about half done. Just give it another minute. Oop, there you go. So that's one of the two. Flip it over. Second one goes on at the same position but on the other side. Starting off there, going up. That sort of goes on in there like that. Of course, we have to leave enough side for the carriage and the thing. Yep, the other side. Oh. So we've got that. Little bits under there. Okay, now I've just got to hold it like that for a minute or so. That's 2 hours, and the only thing I've done is cut down the trolley for the bomb and make this little back section. As I said, these things take ages, and I wasn't joking when I said that. I mean, I could have done this half-assed and like taken half the time, but I love waiting for glue to dry, eh? I would make a joke about like, it's like watching paint dry, but that's my stream I'm talking about. Okay, we can turn off the heat because I'm going to be leaving soon. Looks pretty much, by the time this is dried, I'll be finishing. Then I do have the rails down here to go, in which I have to make full-length ones to go down there to finish this thing. But okay, that back is as fixed as it's going to get. Okay. Yeah, that's dried. Oops. Well, it's big. It's big, covered with spider webs. Yeah, it looks okay. From the outside, it looks... I mean, you're not going to know about any of this stuff, and that's all going to be tidied and painted anyway. Thank you. We've got 5 minutes, so I think I'll just add a little bit on the bottom because I've missed some detailing off. Please tell me that's enough, that'll be amazing. Wow, okay, that is actually going to be enough. It was a bit chalk. Let's have a look what this grip actually looks like, shall we? Oop. So it starts off from the top, around there, like that. Then sort of follows the back, then does this. Okay, so we've got that, which folds around the front. So it's just a little bit of grip on the bottom, or around the bottom. Oops. Do not put weight on those. You definitely don't want to do that. I mean, to be fair, they can't take much weight, but they're not going anywhere. They're quite robust. Also, if you're going to break it, now is the time. The grip doesn't make much difference. Well, that explains why the character is always holding like that off their shoulder, because this thing is not a comfortable weapon to have at all. Okay, are there any other little bits of detail that I've missed? I mean, you know, excluding that, which needs to be finished, because I mean, I need to do a clamp that goes around here, around there, a bit that goes around the end to clip it on, and the half sphere up there, or the dome, I need that as well. But I haven't really decided how to do that yet, that's why I'm holding off on it. But I believe that's probably time, so thanks for coming. I hope you've enjoyed me making a complete mess. Like, seriously, this is going to be about 45 minutes of me tidying up after this to deal with what I've done. And hopefully see you all next time. Okay. Bye. Where is the thing? There.